best part about rock bottom is it's sturdy enough to build on. You finally get the chance to see who's there, who's not, and who never was. So you can honor those who stayed around long enough to watch you become who you knew you could be. It's only up from here.
All right, Shalom. This is the brother Nahal from the GMS New Orleans Church. And before I begin, I want to give infinite honors and praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakagodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopefully elect. All right, Shalom. And for this video, man,
The best part about
we got this guy right here. It's a TikTok clip. All right, and this guy, he said, the best part about rock bottom is that it's sturdy enough to build on, right? And oftentimes in this truth, we're gonna have a moment where we feel like, we're at rock bottom, whether that's through the spirit or or whatever, because we in hell, okay? But he mentioned that it's sturdy enough to build on, and that's the main point that I want to harp on. All right, because the Lord is constantly, through all our trials and tribulations, all right, the Lord is constantly strengthening us after every battle, after every fight, after every affliction. All right, He's still having us grow, all right, making us stronger. Okay, so I'm gonna bring out the precepts. Let the precepts do the talking. And I'm gonna start off with Sirach 2, verse 1. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste." Oh, let me see. My shit fucked up. My verse 2 is cut off. Um, let me see if I can go to it on this phone. Okay, Khan. Alright, so this is Sirach 2 in verse 1, Salakia. It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." Right? And he also mentioned, from that rock bottom, the only way up, the only way to go after you hit rock bottom, is up. Right? It says, verse 4, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state." And that term or that phrase, rock bottom, is synonymous with being at a lower state. Suffering, all right, being brought down, being humbled, being broken. Because the Lord has to build us up, all right, from rock bottom. All right, He is that rock. Yahweh Shai, He is that rock. When we hit rock bottom, He's that rock that that cushions our fall and makes us stronger, to grow again. All right, to strengthen us. Verse 5, it says, "For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity." Yup. "Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way right, and trust in him." And this whole chapter is good. I ain't gonna read all of it, but this whole chapter is good. All right, because it shows you how, having faith during adversity, why it's so important. All right, because we're going to be tempted, we're going to be tried, we're going to be challenged, we're going to be broken down, but the faith is the difference maker in the battle that we fight. All right. So move on. I might as well just use this phone then. This is Proverbs 24 and 16. It says, "For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked fall into mischief." Yep. So the rock bottom, for the wicked is not the same rock bottom, for the righteous, for the men of the Lord. There is no cushion or no hope for them at rock bottom, because they don't have the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you know, of the Bible. They don't have the Ruach Hakodesh. They don't have the Holy Spirit. So it's no, when they fall, it's really no getting back up for them. All right, they just got to deal with what the position that they're at. It says, "For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again." All right, because every time we fall to that, that rock bottom, you know, Yahweh Shai is there. All right, He's there to keep us going. Through the battles, He is the comforter. All right, He is what Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is what keeps us going. All right, what helps us be able to get back up again and again and again and again and again. All right, we fighting a good fight of faith. So this is First Peter 5 and I start at verse 6. First Peter 5 and 6, it says, "Humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of the Most High, that He may exalt you in due time." Yeah, so when we get brought down low, all right, there's a time period where the Lord has His hand on you. You might be getting afflicted, all right, but it's ultimately a test, all right, and you will be raised up out of it, exalted in due time, all right. You'll conquer that challenge, that affliction, in due time, all right. It says, "Casting all your care upon Him, for He careth for you. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour." Yeah, and sometimes, well, really all the time, the Lord uses Satan, so like it's Satan to buffet his men. All right. So a lot of the times, Satan, be working, whether that's on your job, you lose your job, or catching hell at the job, or having car problems, woman problems, whatever you name it. Right? Just like what happened with Job, man. Satan, touched everything that Job had. And Job was brought to a lower state, a state of mourning, rock bottom. All right, but through it all, he kept his faith and his integrity. Why? Because at rock bottom, his faith and his integrity is what kept him rooted, in the Lord, which allowed him to conquer those tribulations, all right, and bounce back and become even greater. Verse 9, it says, "Whom resisted steadfast in the faith," all right, "knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world, but the God of grace, of all grace, who had called us unto His eternal glory by Hamashiach Yahushua, after that ye have suffered a while, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, settle you." And that's the point, man. All right, we're brought to that lower state. We're brought to rock bottom for a while, where we have to have patience and suffer while we're there. And then it says, make you perfect, establish, strengthen, settle you. Like the guy said in the video in the beginning, man, that rock bottom is sturdy enough to build on. Why? Because we're building off the foundation of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, I'm gonna get that word. See what that word perfect says also in the online etymology. Okay, it says flawless, ideal, complete, full, finished. Right? Uh, finished, completed, ready, completed, excellent, accomplished. Yeah, man. So after we are exalted and risen up from rock bottom, you know, we've completed, you know, that whatever that battle was, or that in that Sirach 2:5 it says for gold is tried in a fire and acceptable men in a furnace of adversity. All right, so when we get put in that furnace, whatever our weak spots was, those impurities, uh, and we go, it's synonymous with being brought to rock bottom and just going through hell. All right, but the fire is on us, which strengthens us. All right, but it says acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Right, so that's only the men of the Lord. All right, who can conquer those uh, afflictions, man. All right, whatever they going through. I'll get probably get one more. And I'll end it just real quick. Don't gotta be too long. This is Sirach 30 Salakia, Psalms 37 and 37. It says mark the perfect man and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. Right? So after the afflictions and the trying of our fate and the trials and tribulations, all right, we're made perfect. Okay? It says, for the end of that man is peace. So at a time we I'll get it. I'll quote it. It says, this is Sirach 1 and 23. It says, a patient man will tear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him. Because there's a beauty in continuing to fight, not giving up, and then conquering your battle. Okay? It's beautiful. All right, because it all goes back to the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, having faith in that rock, man. That's what it's all about. Whatever we going through, we always got our rock, Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, to keep us grounded, rooted. Let's see some rocks. I keep saying this. Let's try okay. On Google it says from ancient legends to modern day references, the rock symbolizes strength, endurance, and permanence. So our strength is in Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? Our endurance, permanence. It says rocks as expressions of the earth's fundamental forces represent stability, durability, and resilience. And that's the point. That rock bottom is sturdy enough to build on, because Yahweh Shai, he meets us there, all right? For the stability, the durability, the resilience. Through him, through having faith in him, that's what gives us the stability and the durability and the resilience, to keep on fighting, to keep on enduring. All right. Yeah, so that was pretty much the point. I can end it right there. I'll play the video one more time before I end it.
The best part about rock bottom is it's sturdy enough to build on. You finally get the chance to see who's there, who's not, and who never was. So you can honor those who stayed around long enough to watch you become who you knew you could be. It's only up from here.
All right, so with that, I want to give infinite honors and praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua Bashim Rukakwadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles, and of great millstone, and peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.